if somebody ain't putting me on the list, it's just because they a bunch of fucking haters or they just don't know the history. You know what I mean? Because hands down, shit. I mean, it's self-explanatory.
So recently, Complex had came out with a list of top 50 rappers from LA. Then they came out with a top 50 from New York, right? And Tupac wasn't on any of the lists. When the LA one first came out, they were like, oh, he's technically from New York. And then when the New York one came out, he wasn't on it either. And it caused like kind of like some fans felt a way about it, right? But these lists, people get left off all the time. But that was just kind of like, wow, like that was a pretty big deal.
That's crazy. Regardless of what, as far as LA, he should have definitely been on that list. He should have been top 3 in that list in LA. You ask me. Because the impact Tupac had in LA, name another 5 or 3 that did it like he did.
Ice Cube, Dre, just basically NWA pretty much, I would say.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. Exactly. It's not many that you can name. But Pac had a major impact. A crazy impact. And who was walking with him at the time? Dre. So look who was walking with him at the time. He did California Love with Dre, and then he did the whole shit with Suge Knight, Death Row. You know what I'm saying? And he was on top of the game more than them at that time. So I don't know. It's disrespectful to me that you leave him off that list. And even if you come to New York, he wasn't technically, he was more Jersey than anything, really. He was more Newark, New Jersey to me than anything. But
why do you say that?
Because that's where he was always going to, you know what I mean? Even when he was doing performing arts and he was dancing and doing all that shit with a Humpty Hump and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? He was always in Newark, New Jersey. You feel me? And then when he did his first album, The Soldier Joint, you know what I mean? Like, he was even saying it then, like, you know what I mean? Jersey got a part, you know what I mean? But, you know, of course, he's from New York, but at the same time, he was always spending a lot of time in Jersey. You feel me? And, like, it's just crazy that they didn't put him in none of them states. But, you know, these lists is not official anyway, you know what I mean? Anybody make lists nowadays. You know what I mean? Your next door neighbor will make a fucking list.
Which brings me to my next point. Philaflava came out with a list of top 50 from New Jersey, and you weren't even mentioned on the list. I commented, what about Big Lou? And they said, that's a good one. Or something along those lines. How did you feel about that?
It's like I said, anybody making a list, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if they say that's a good one, you should have known it's good enough to be placed on there. You know what I mean? And rank it high, because, you know, single-handedly, I opened a lot of doors for South Jersey artists to be heard. You feel me? Nobody was hearing South Jersey artists till I signed with K Slay. When I signed with K Slay, that shit opened the floodgates to South Jersey artists, which they doing a story about. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else was doing it that big until they heard, of course, Crown Rulers, Nicky Rap, and Scratch. You feel me? And then when I got signed with K Slay, that's when they started paying attention. But it was also me doing songs with people from my neighborhood or doing award shows and shit like that, showcasing talent from Jersey for they can start recognizing that we got mad talent over here on our side. You know what I mean? And that's what really helped a whole slew of rappers start getting recognized from our side, you know what I mean, to get noticed in a bigger level. And it's like, to leave somebody off a list or anything, I don't take it no type of way, because it has to be official. But if somebody ain't putting me on the list, it's just because they a bunch of fucking haters, or they just don't know the history. You know what I mean? Because hands down, shit. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You know what I mean? Self-explanatory. I ain't got nothing to prove. You know, I got the receipts. Everybody know that. You know what I mean? But shout out to them. They gave a list of a bunch of people I ain't even know. So it is what it is. It is what it is.